This is an audiovisual presentation of percentages. Now let's consider interest. The amount charged for the use of money is called interest. Now, assuming we have gone to the bank to borrow 100 Ghana cedis and we are charged an interest on the 100 Ghana cedis. Assuming that we are to pay 120 Ghana cedis at the end of the time period. Take note that we borrowed 100 Ghana cedis and we are to pay 120 Ghana cedis at the end of the time period given by the bank. The difference between the amount we are paying and the amount borrowed from the bank will be the interest. So the interest is 20 Ghana cedis. That's the difference between the amount we are paying at the end of the time period and the money that was borrowed from the bank. So 120 Ghana cedis minus 100 Ghana cedis is equal to 20 Ghana cedis. That means that the interest charged on the amount borrowed from the bank is 20 Ghana cedis. Now with the interest, we shall consider the simple interest and the compound interest. We first start with the simple interest. The simple interest is defined as the interest on the principal sum for a specified time and at a given rate per year. I go over. The simple interest is defined as the interest on the principal sum for a specified time and at a given rate per year. So mathematically, simple interest I is equal to P times R times T divided by 100, where P is the principal, R is the rate in percentage, and T is the time in years. So the simple interest is equal to the principal times the rate times the time divided by 100. Now, let's take note of this example. A girl deposited 3,000 cedis at the rate of 5% per annum for 3 years. Find the A, simple interest, B, amount at the end of the 3rd year. So this is the example. This is the example. Now, the question says a girl deposited 3,000 cedis at the rate of 5% per annum for 3 years. That means that the rate is 5%, the principal is 3,000, and the number of years is 3. So you are supposed to find the simple interest and the amount at the end of the 3rd year. Now let's look at the solution. From the question, our principal P is equal to 3,000. The interest rate is equal to 5%, and the time is equal to 3 years. Therefore, the simple interest, which is equal to P times R times T divided by 100, will now be equal to I equals 3,000 times 5 times 3 divided by 100, where 3,000 is the principal, that is P, R is the rate, and that is 5, and T is the time, and that is 3 years. So the simple interest will be equal to 3,000 times 5 times 3 divided by 100, and this is equal to 450 cedis. So the simple interest on the principal 3,000 at the interest rate of 5% for 3 years is equal to 450 cedis. Now B, we are supposed to find the amount at the end of the 3rd year. The amount at the end of the 3rd year. Take note that from our calculation, the simple interest I equals 450 cedis. So the amount at the end of the 3rd year will be equal to the principal plus the simple interest, that is 450 cedis. So 3,000 cedis plus 450 cedis is equal to 3,450 cedis. That means that the amount at the end of the third year will be equal to the principal plus the simple interest within the 3 years. So the amount at the end of the third year will be equal to 3,000 plus 450 cedis, and this is equal to 3,450 cedis. Now let's look at this example. The simple interest on 450 cedis for 4 years is 45 cedis. What is the rate of interest per annum for 4 years? Now let's look at this question. The simple interest on 450 cedis, that means that 450 cedis is the principal, because from the question we have it that the simple interest on 450 cedis for 4 years is 45 cedis. That means that the simple interest is 45 cedis and the principal is 450 cedis and the time is 4 years. Now from the question, we are asked to find the rate of interest per annum for 4 years. That is, what is the rate of interest per annum for 4 years? Now let's look at the solution. From the question, the principal P is equal to 450 cedis and the simple interest from the question I is equal to 45 cedis. The time has been given in the question to be 4 years, but the rate has not been given. We are asked to find the rate. Now, from the simple interest formula, we have I equals P times R times T divided by 100, where I is the simple interest, P is the principal, R is the rate, and T is the time, and 100 is a constant. So because we are solving for R, we have to cross multiply, and at the end, we make R the subject through the principle of change of subject. So if I equals PRT divided by 100, then we cross multiply. So I, that is the simple interest, will multiply 100. And so we have I times 100. This is equal to P times R times T, that is PRT. So PRT multiplies 1. That is the denominator of the simple interest, because I over 1 is the same as I. And so if you are cross multiplying, when the I multiplies 100, take note that PRT also multiplies the denominator of the simple interest, that is 1. And PRT times 1 will give us PRT. Now, we have I times 100 is equal to PRT. Don't forget that we are searching for the rate. And so we divide both sides of the equation by PT. So when we divide the right hand side by PT, we are left with R. And when we divide the left hand side by PT, we have I times 100 divided by PT, where I is the simple interest, 100 is the constant, P is the principal, and T is the time. So if we multiply the simple interest by 100 and we divide by the product of the principal and the time, we have what we call the rate. So I times 100 divided by P times T is equal to R. And this can also be written as R equals I times 100 divided by PT. Take note that the right hand side is now the left hand side, and the left hand side is now the right hand side. We have not changed the equation, it is still the same. So R is equal to I times 100 divided by P times T, where I is the simple interest. So R is equal to 45, that is the simple interest, times 100 divided by 450, that is the principal, times 4, that is the time. So R is equal to 45 times 100 divided by 450 times 4, and this is equal to 2.5%. That means that the rate R is equal to 2.5%. Now let's look at compound interest. Compound interest involves A, the interest on the amount invested, B, the interest on interest as it is earned over time. Now let's look at this example and see how best we can calculate the compound interest. From the question, find the amount at the end of 3 years if 500,000 cedis is invested at 5% per annum. A. Simple interest. B. Compound interest with interest credited. I go over the question again. Find the amount at the end of 3 years if 500,000 cedis is invested at 5% per annum at A. Simple interest. B. Compound interest with interest credited. So from the question, we can see that the time is 3 years, the rate is 5%, and the principal is 500,000. Where 500,000 is the principal, that is the amount invested, and the time period is 3 years, and the interest rate is 5%. Now, how would we calculate the simple interest and the compound interest with the interest credited? Now, solution. From the question, our principal, that is the amount invested, is equal to 500,000 cedis. The interest rate is equal to 5%, and the time is 3 years. So A, simple interest I is equal to PRT divided by 100, where P is the principal, R is the rate, and T is the time, divided by 100. So I is equal to 500,000 times 5 times 3 divided by 100, where 500,000 is the principal P, 5 is the interest rate R, and 3 is the time period, that is T, divided by 100. So 500,000 times 5 times 3 divided by 100 is equal to 75,000 cedis. That means that the interest, the simple interest, is equal to 75,000 cedis. Now B, the time of compounding is taken as 1. So take note of this. The principal, that is the first year, the amount invested is equal to 500,000 cedis. That's the principal for the first year. So let's calculate the interest, that is the 5% for the first year. And we know that the interest is equal to P times R times T divided by 100. P equals 500,000. R equals 5%. And T equals 1. Take note that the time of compounding is taken as 1. So T equals 1 divided by 100. And 100 is a constant. Take note that the interest is in terms of percentage. So if we are given 5%, then it will be 5 divided by 100. And that is how come we are dividing PRT by 100, because the rate is in percentage. So the interest is equal to PRT divided by 100. Now the principal is 500,000. So times the rate is 5 times the time is 1. That's 1 year divided by 100. Now 500,000 times 5 times 1 divided by 100 is equal to 25,000. Is equal to 25,000. So that is the interest at the end of the first year. Now, because it's a compound interest, the principal for the second year will be the amount that was invested plus the interest at the end of the first year. And the amount invested was 500,000. The amount invested was 500,000, and the interest at the end of the first year equals 25,000. So it means that we have to add the principal for the first year and the interest at the end of the first year. So 500,000 plus 25,000, that is giving us 525,000. So this should be the principal for the second year. So the principal for the second year will be equal to 525,000 cedis. Now we know that the principal for the second year is equal to 525,000 cedis. So the interest, the 5% for the second year, will be equal to P times R times T divided by 100. Now the principal is now 525,000. The rate is still 5%, and the time of compounding is 1 year. So T equals 1. So the interest, that is 5% for 2 years, will be equal to PRT divided by 100. And P is 525,000, R is 5, and T is 1, divided by 100. So 525,000 times 5 times 1 divided by 100 is equal to 26,250 cedis. 26,250 cedis. Now, how do you find the principal for the third year? How do you find the principal for the third year? Take note that the principal for the second year gave us 525,000, and the interest at the end of the second year is 26,250 cedis. Because it's compound interest, we have to add the principal for the second year to the interest at the end of the second year before we can get the principal for the third year. So we are compounding the interest. So the principal for the third year will be equal to 525,000 plus 26,250, and this is equal to 551,250 cedis. Now that we have gotten the principal for the third year, we can now find the interest. That's the 5% for the third year, and this is equal to the principal for the third year, that is 551,250 cedis. Then we multiply by the rate, that is 5%, times the time of compounding, that is 1, divided by 100, and this is equal to 27,562 cedis, 50 pesos. Now, interest, that is 5% for the first year. From our calculation, we have 25,000 cedis. The interest, 5% for the second year, we have 26,250 cedis. And the interest, 5% for the third year, equals 27,562 cedis, 50 pesos. So if you want to find the compound interest, then we have to add the interest for the first year to the interest for the second year to the interest for the third year. So we have the compound interest to be equal to 25,000 plus 26,250 cedis plus 27,562 cedis, 50 pesos. And when we add the three interests, we have 78,812 cedis, 50 pesos. That means that the compound interest is equal to 78,812 cedis, 50 pesos. That is the compound interest. That is the compound interest. Now let's look at the alternative approach of solving the same problem. Don't forget that from our calculation, the principal we had for the third year was 551,250 cedis. And the interest, the 5% interest for the third year gave us 27,562 cedis, 50 pesos. So if you want to know the amount at the end of the third year, then it means that we have to add the principal for the third year to the interest at the end of the third year. And that means that the amount at the end of the third year will be equal to 551,250 cedis plus 27,562 cedis, 50 pesos. And the answer is 578,812 cedis, 50 pesos. So if you want to find the compound interest, then you have to subtract the principal, the initial principal, that is the amount that was invested, that is the 500,000. You have to subtract it from the amount at the end of the third year, that is 578,812 cedis, 50 pesos. And so the compound interest is equal to 578,812 cedis, 50 pesos minus 500,000. And the compound interest is equal to 78,812 cedis, 50 pesos. Now let's look at commission. Now assuming we have a sale girl if the total sales equals Q cedis, that is, a sales girl makes the total sales of Q cedis, assuming that the commission is X% of the total sales, then it means that the commission will be equal to X divided by 100 times the total sales. I go over. We are looking at commissions. And we are considering a sales girl. Now the total sales made by the sales girl equals Q cedis. If the commission the girl is given is X% of the total sales, then it means that if you want to find the commission, you divide X by 100, then you multiply by the total sales. So we have X divided by 100 times Q cedis. Now let's look at this example. A sales girl is given a commission of 3% of sales made in the month. If she made sales of 5 million cedis in a month, what is her commission? What is her commission? Now solution. The commission is 3% of the sales made. So we have 3 divided by 100 times the sales made was 5 million. So 3 divided by 100 times 5 million is equal to 150,000. That means that the commission the sales girl made is 150,000. Now let's look at depreciation. Depreciation is the decrease of a value of an item over a period of time. If an item depreciates by X% of value of original value Q, then the new value will be equal to 100 minus X% of Q. That's the new value will be equal to 100 minus X divided by 100 times Q. So depreciation will be equal to the X% of the original value. Depreciation will be equal to X% of the original value. Now, if you want to find the new value, it is 100 minus X divided by 100 times the original value, where X is the percentage depreciation. So you subtract X from 100, then you divide the results by 100 and you multiply by the original value, and that will give you the new value. If you want the original value, you divide 100 by 100 minus X, where X is the percentage depreciation, times the new value. If you want the depreciation itself, it's equal to the reduction in value divided by the original value times 100. Now let's look at this example. Akwasi bought a radio for 65,000 cedis. After 1 year, the cost depreciates by 25%. What was the value of the radio after 1 year? I go over. Akwasi bought a radio for 65,000 cedis. After 1 year, the cost depreciates by 25%. What was the value of the radio after 1 year? Now let's look at the solution. The original value is 65,000 cedis and the percentage depreciation is equal to 25%. So if you want to find the cost after 1 year, that's the new value, is going to be 100 minus 25 divided by 100 times the original value. And the original value is 65,000. Now 100 minus 25 equals 75. So we have 75 over 100 times 65,000. And this is equal to 48,750 cedis. 48,750 cedis. So this is our new value. This is the new value with the 25% depreciation. Now let's look at discount. Discount is reduction in value of an article. Discount is reduction in value of an article. Now, if the discount is X%, then if you want to find the new value, it is 100 minus x divided by 100 times the original value. If you want to find the amount that was saved as a result of the discount, it's equal to x divided by 100 times the original price, where x is the percentage discount. So the amount saved will be equal to x over 100 times original price. Now example, Mr. Asiedu was given a discount of 12% of the price of a TV. Mr. Asiedu was given a discount of 12% of the price of a TV set, selling at 400 cedis. How much did he pay for it? Now let's look at this question. The price of the TV set is 400 cedis, but Mr. Asiedu has been given a discount of 12%. So how much did he pay for it? Now let's look at how best to solve this problem. The original value is 400 cedis, and the discount that has been given to Mr. Asiedu is 12%. So if you want to find the new price, it is 100 minus the 12 divided by 100 times the original value, that is 400 cedis. Now 100 minus 12 equals 88. So we have 88 divided by 100 times the original value, that is 400 cedis. Now 88 divided by 100 times 400. Take note that 100 goes into 400 four times. And so we multiply the 4 left by the 88. So we have 88 times 4 cedis. And that is 352 cedis. So this is going to be the new price. This is going to be the new price. Take note that the original value or the original price was 400 cedis. But because Mr. Asiedu was given a discount of 12%, it means that the new price after calculation will be equal to 352 cedis. Now let's look at an alternative approach of solving the same problem. The original value from the question is 400 cedis. The discount given is 12%. So 12% of the original value will be equal to 12 over 100 times 400 cedis. And this is equal to 48 cedis. That means that the 12% of 400 cedis will be equal to 48 cedis. So if you want to find the new price, then it means that it will be 400 cedis minus 48 cedis. And the answer is 352 cedis, which is the same as the answer we had using the other alternative. This is the end of our presentation.